Well, I'm sorry, I'm not sure. Did we have an
So why
agenda?
don't you go ahead and share your screen?
So which should I share? Should I share the one I submitted or the? Well, I
Show
guess,
the one that you submitted. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, I remember this one. So let's look at that tiddler called annotating while reading. Okay, and explain to
so
me.
yeah, I was trying to use.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, this is a shorter article. I was trying to use that. I was trying to highlight parts of the abstract. I also wanted to write some notes in between the paragraphs. What else? So because I couldn't use the highlight, I guess I used the underline feature as one way to annotate.
Yep.
them.
So the thing. So you created annotations by putting your notes between horizontal rules, right?
Yes.
Okay, which is a very logical and reasonable way to do it. Well, let's see if we can do it with slightly different approach. Okay, but you've got the basics down. So scroll up to the top, and that's edit this tiddler, and you can go ahead and hide your sidebar. And we can go ahead and edit this tiddler. Okay, so you got the complete right idea with using the span class, with the span command. But what you're missing is the style sheet. So go to DesignWrite Studio, which you might need another tab for that. And so you can search for yellow. Okay, and what you need is the EWS style sheet tiddler. So drag that over to yours. It's on the third tab over. You were there. Oh, is the thing in the way? The green bar's in the way, right?
Yeah.
Hit stay. And yes, just scroll up to the top. You don't want to drag it into an open tiddler. Yeah. So now try and drag and drop it again. You have to. You were clear. You just have to get into that tab. There you go. And did it work?
Yes.
So,
Well, yeah, I guess it's
so if you look at the
highlighted.
yellow style, if you look at the DWS style sheet, Tiddler, you might have to search for it. You just want to go to your list of Tiddlers and search for DWS style sheet.
Oh, so I could just
Yeah. It's going to be old because I wrote, it's all the way down on the bottom, 2 February.
yes.
Yeah. Yep. And let's just, so now you can see what that does. And if you wanted to change yellow highlight to orange highlight, you could probably figure it out, right?
Yes.
And you can call actually there's orange highlight in there. You can call any of those classes that you want and mess with them. So that's like something to think about working moving forward.
So I guess I could use this on any Tiddler or any project.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, and you just keep building and adding onto your style sheet. You can rename, as long as your style sheet is tagged $:/tag/style sheet, it'll render and read as a style sheet.
Okay, got it.
So that's a way to start building styles, and some of us are going to start doing that. So yeah, so you can go ahead and under tools, just hit close all. We got a lot of stuff open here. It's getting in our way. Second command, you might even want to bring that out if you'd like.
There is a close all tool.
The close all tool, yeah. It's right there. It's the second one right under home. You might want to put home out too, because that's kind of helpful. Yep. Yeah. And now we can go back to your recent and let's look at the one that we were just looking at. Yep. Okay. So now, is that italics? Is that your work?
The italics is mine, yes.
Okay. So let's put that in yellow instead of italics so that it's really clear, more clear. And if you go back to Design Right, I'll teach you to do a macro here.
Back to DWS style sheet.
You go back to Design Right, it's in your next tab, and search for the other, see the highlight macros?
Yes.
Drag them into yours. And before you close, let's look at the import, and then if you make it full screen, it'll be right on top. I'm sure it doesn't show import. That's weird. And I don't see them, so I don't know that you actually got. Oh, there they are, all the way on the bottom. And just we'll edit that. And so there's the tests of orange and yellow. But let's look at the code for that. And so that tells you that there's a macro called Y and one called XY and one called O. Looks to me like X, Y, and Y do the same thing. And so all it does is it grabs the name. And so you see how Y and then there's the word text in parentheses?
Yes.
So when you're passing, I'm going to show you how to pass the macro in a moment. Whatever you pass is going to be contained in a variable called text, $ text, $, and then we create another variable called text, and we wrap a span class equals yellow highlight, then the contents of the variable text, and then close the span. So you don't have to do that manually. Okay. So then go back to your annotating while reading, whatever the one that we were just working on. And where you've got italics, let's edit that. Okay, so I see what you're doing. You excise that into another paragraph, right?
Correct. Yeah, I think it's number 2.
Yep, it is.
Yes.
Okay. Aha, I see what you did there. Okay. So instead of double, yeah, so it's going to be 2 angle brackets in the word Y, the letter Y, followed by a space and a quote. 1 quote, sorry. And then close where you've got the close. Yes, close the quote. And with 2 angle brackets. So that's the text from the original, right?
Yes, it is.
So what if, and so your comment is about that particular phrase. Is that the idea?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So maybe it makes more sense to put your stuff in yellow and leave their stuff not yellow. And then you don't need the HR or right, exactly. So you can get rid of all the HR and the Y and all that stuff. And get rid of it at the beginning as well. And you might, in this tiddler, so edit this tiddler again. And this gets a little tricky, so we'll just have to be careful with what we're doing. Let's give this tiddler a name that's got some semantic value, some meaning associated with it.
Like thoughts on annotating?
Yeah, like what does this mean to you? What did you write?
Yeah, just thoughts on what stood out in the article for me. I just stands out. Although this doesn't really make much sense either.
Right, but what does it? You write something important here. It depends on what one is trying to gain from the exercise of reading. So maybe annotation depends on a reader's purposes, right? That's maybe what you're writing.
Yes.
Okay. So write something that. Whatever. Annotation is dependent on the reader's purpose or something, that might work. Okay. And before you save that, grab that title. copy it. And remember that you changed update annotating while reading annotation 2. Just remember that in your mind and save this. And now it's a little tricky. You have to go back to your annotation while reading, which is open. It's the third one down in your draft. No, not that one. Yes. And where you've got annotation while reading annotation 2, you have to replace that with the title that you have in your buffer. Keep the braces. And you should just be able to paste. There we go.
Okay.
Okay, so that's like a way of you building in your annotations, right? You did some double work here. You didn't necessarily need to transclude that. You could have just inserted your yellow highlight right there.
I spent about 4 hours trying to figure out the highlights.
Yeah, no, and this is all about exploration and thinking about how you might do it. So yeah, so does that?
Yes, because I mean, now that I could color coordinate, and I think it's going to stand out a lot more than just highlighting. I mean, underlining or using text or using italics.
Yeah, it's mostly we just wanted to sort of get you started with this idea of engaging and interacting with text in ways that you come up with yourself instead of kind of just following some directions.
And my other question is that it was difficult to find shorter articles. Most of the stuff I found were like 15, 20, 25 pages.
Yeah, and you could have just used we should have just used the readings that we had from class.
Okay.
That was perfect. That would have been perfectly fine. I should have just had you do that. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, so I think that's why I went with the shorter article.
Yeah.
But,
so does this give you enough of something to work with now?
yes, I think I mentioned that in one of my in the survey that you sent us. I'm thinking a little about future projects. So most of my questions they pretty much pertain to things I'm thinking about down the road. So this helps me a lot.
Okay, good. Yeah. Great. Okay. Any other questions I can help you with?
I noticed that sometimes I look at other people's work, and I guess different people have different levels in the class. Is that a useful exercise to do, to actually look and see what other people are doing, or should they try to stick with what it is that you stick with the same pace that you're going at with us?
No. You should definitely look at what other people are doing. If I'm going too slow, you should absolutely move faster. And and if you want to go in a slightly different direction, then you should definitely do that, and we can certainly talk about it. What kind of stuff are you finding interesting?
You mean with the other people's work?
Or even in the stuff that we've been doing. Do you like the?
Well, I noticed that some people actually be able to keep all of their projects on one tiddly, on one wiki. Sorry. Different people are using like different layouts in terms of like different color backgrounds.
Yeah.
More sophisticated layouts with the projects. So I think that as far as information design is concerned, so like I said, some people are a lot more advanced. But the thing is that this is my first time taking a class like this, so I don't want to go too quickly and try to do what they're doing, and I would miss the basics.
Okay, well, so I think so far, and I don't want to. Malika, is that right, Malika? I keep wanting to say.
Yeah, it's Malika.
I know that's wrong.
It's Malika.
Malika, yeah. I just want it to be Malika because I like the way that sounds. But Malika, Marvin, yeah. And this is to you too. There's we're going to go into two directions here. Some people will find it really helpful to go. I'm just going to share my screen. Oh, we still got Marvin's, yeah.